Hello and welcome to the Commander's Quarters, your Magic the Gathering source that helps you command your budget. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all their support. There's even a brand new Brigadier General tier where you can get a shout out on a Commander's Quarters episode that's dedicated to you. Hey everyone, Mitch coming in for the Commander's Quarters studio. Welcome to the show. So actually, while I was recording my recent episode on Alchemist's Gambit, another really exciting card came up. And actually, because of some personal things, I'm not going to be able to record for, well, what might be potentially a little bit of time. So yeah, this upcoming episode might be the quickest one I have ever recorded. So please bear with me if I make any mistakes. And here's hoping I can get it up in time. But yeah, the reason I really want to get this episode up is because it's on a really exciting new commander with Runo Stromkirk. Hopefully I'm saying that right. And Krothuss Lord of the Deep. And yeah, this seems like it very well might be the new god of the Seamonsters. So again, with this quick take, please forgive me if I misspeak or, yeah, I'm going to be going quickly through this one. It's a super quick take, so here we go. And actually, of course, I'm already making mistakes. I'm only 1 minute into the episode. A big thank you to Eddie for all the great discussions around all these cards, and especially for the discussion around this one, because Eddie brought up some amazing points I'm going to bring up. But yeah, actually, if I make any mistakes in this episode, always remember, it's actually not my fault. Hashtag blame Eddie. And now with that said, let's jump into this super quick take. And actually now I realize that I already made another mistake because on the thumbnail for this episode, Runo Stromkirk, which actually, that's why the name sounded wrong to me, because this is the actual name of the card in English. Runo Stromkirk. Runo Stromkirk is in another language, and that's why, yeah, I'm using these versions of the cards. And I'm already flustered, and again, we're only 2 minutes in the episode. Regardless, Runo Stromkirk is a 1/4 vampire cleric that costs 1 blue-black. He has flying, and whenever he enters the battlefield, put up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard on top of your library. At the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. You may reveal that card. If a creature card with mana value 6 or greater is revealed this way, transform Runo Stromkirk. And on the backside, we've got that sea monster god that I alluded to with Krothuss, Lord of the Deep. Okay, technically it's not a sea monster god because it's not a god, it's a Kraken horror. But come on, it's basically a sea monster god, okay? It's a 3/5, again, Kraken horror with flying that has, when it attacks, create a tapped attacking token that's a copy of another target attacking creature. If that creature is a Kraken, Leviathan, Octopus, or Serpent, create 2 of those tokens instead. Yeah, that's a very powerful effect, again, especially for a 3-mana commander. Again, it does take work, obviously, to flip this onto the backside, but yeah, a 3/5 flyer, that's not too bad, and obviously it's going to be protected when you're swinging through, and that trigger is absolutely incredible, giving you a token copy of another attacking creature, and again, if it's specifically a Kraken, Leviathan, Octopus, or Serpent, which I imagine a lot of decks built around this are going to have those creature types, well, you get double the value. Now, like I said, Play Monsters love Sea Monster Tribal, and in fact, I think my Rixsmith Sea Monster Tribal episode is one of my most popular episodes of all time, and we'll talk about Rixsmith here in a bit and to see if Runo Stromkirk, or should I say Krothuss Lord of the Deep, is going to actually take the crown as the, you know, the new sea monster go-to commander. We shall see. Regardless, again, I had a great conversation with Eddie about this new commander, and he brought up a lot of good points. One of those being, you gotta be really careful in how you go about building and utilizing this commander. Yeah, you might want to include some blink effects to reset the commander and get something big on top, but in doing so, then you're essentially kind of not fate sealing yourself. You're basically, ensuring that you're getting a big thing off the top, but then you might miss some land drops or other important cards if you keep doing that. So you gotta be careful. There's a delicate balance to a commander like this one, and a lot of more casual deck builders might try to take this deck in too many different directions, and it might just kind of fall flat on its face. I mean, it might really work in some circumstances, but other times it might just kind of stall out. And of course, you don't have to take this in Sea Monster Tribal. There's a lot of powerful things that you can do with, creatures that might have some really powerful ETBs, like a Diluvian Primordial or Scholar Lost Trove, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, there's some really powerful things that you can do outside of Sea Monster Tribal, but again, I think the direction that most players are going to take it, and again, the most value that you can get out of this commander is, again, making twice as many tokens just on an attack trigger if you're running those Krakens, Leviathans, Octopuses, or Serpents. Regardless, though, let's talk about some ways to actually set yourself up to get this commander to flip. So first up, let's quickly talk about some cards like Brainstorm and Careful Study. Brainstorm says draw 3 cards and put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. So yeah, you don't even need a big creature in your graveyard to actually get your commander to flip. You just take that big creature that was in your hand and you say, hey, you know what? I'll see you in a little bit, okay? I'm going to put you on top of the library, I'll get my commander in play, and then you know what? You're going to be revealed and my commander will flip, and fun times are had by all. Now, obviously, your commander flipping is important, but if you don't have any other creatures in play, you can't get really a lot of value out of that when you're attacking, but it still sets yourself up. Regardless, again, you're also going to want to consider cards that help you loot or help you discard cards while also drawing cards like Careful Study. It's basically Blue's version of Faithless Looting, but without the flashback, draw 2, discard 2. So again, you can ditch that giant 6 mana or more sea monster that's in your hand, put it in your graveyard. You're going to see it again eventually because basically, you just get your commander in play, put on top of your library, and set yourself up for that commander flip. And again, you're not going to want to try to take this deck in too many directions and just kind of split the focus, but you could also run some reanimation things that might work again with the discard strategy as well to get some of those massive, sea monsters into play for cheap. And speaking of massive sea monsters, some fantastic ones with this commander are, of course, ones that have massive ETBs like Scourge of Fleets, Icebreaker Kraken, and Gyruda, Doom of Depths. Scourge of Fleet has when it enters the battlefield, return each creature your opponents control toughness extra less to its owner's hand or X the number of islands you control. Now, obviously, getting this trigger twice really doesn't matter all that much, but yeah, getting 2 token copies of this on attack, that's gonna be pretty huge. 2 6/6s and bouncing your opponent's small to medium size and potentially later in the game, big creatures, yeah, that's gonna be nice. And then Icebreaker Kraken is even bigger, an 8/8 that has, when it enters the battlefield, artifacts and creatures target opponent controls don't untap during that player's next untap step. So yeah, getting 2 of these on an attack trigger, that's 16 total power across 2 bodies, and again, on top of that, you're making it so that 2 opponents don't get to untap. Well, okay, they untap their lands, but not their artifacts or creatures, okay? And then, even though Gyruda is legendary, you're still going to want to consider it because it does have a fantastic ETB. When it comes into play, each player mills 4, then you put a creature card with an even converted mana cost from among those cards onto the battlefield under your control. So yeah, just imagine doing this and hitting, even just off of your deck, Icebreaker Kraken, or something else that's massive with an even converted mana cost, and just getting those into play for free. Or, something massive from one of your opponents, and again, because of that attack trigger and this being a Kraken, you do it twice. But of course, outside of ETBs, there are some other fantastic Krakens that you're going to want to double up on with things like, Spawning Kraken, or, even Serpent of Yawning Depths. Spawning Kraken says, whenever a Kraken, Leviathan, Octopus, or Serpent you control deals counter damage to a player, create a 9/9 blue Kraken creature token. Yeah, this is absurd. You just get, 2 more copies of this. Then you've got 3 of these in play, and whenever any of your Krakens, Leviathans, Octopuses, or Serpents deal combat damage to a player, you're going to get 3 9/9s. Yeah, that's going to get out of hand in absolutely no time, especially if you've got Serpent of Yawning Depths in play, because it says Krakens, Leviathans, Octopuses, and Serpents you control can't be blocked except by Krakens, Leviathans, Octopuses, and Serpents. So yeah, you can't really just double up on that effect. I mean, the effect is just going to stay whether you have 1 or 2 or whatnot. But yeah, basically, your creatures are going to be unblockable, and getting an extra 1 of these or an extra 2 of these is never going to be a bad thing. 6/6, making sure that your things are unblockable, that's great, because even if your opponents remove 1 or even 2 of them, you've got another 1. And also, obviously, you're going to want to include other, Sea Monster tribal cards in your deck. And speaking of removing things, Whelming Wave is a fantastic one. It's going to bounce back every single creature except for Krakens, Leviathans, Octopuses, and Serpents. So, clear the board and swing through with your massive army. You're going to have a lot of fun with this. Regardless, again, yes, you can include blink spells in this deck to help utilize your commander again and get a big, massive sea monster from your graveyard back on top of your library with things like Essence Flux and Ghostly Flicker. Yes, those can help, but again, try not to pull this deck in too many different directions because, again, it can just fall flat on its face if you do. And obviously, again, with something like Ghostly Flicker, you're able to blink 2 creatures, so again, maybe that's, your commander, again, to get something big on top if you want. And also, again, one of those sea monsters that just has a massive ETB like the ones we discussed. Now again, will this new commander actually, take the crown from Rixmathes as the Sea Monster Tribal Commander, the go-to one? I'm not sure. Rixmathes is guaranteed ramp, but it really doesn't do anything that's, Sea Monster Tribal-esque. It doesn't actually, help your Sea Monsters in any way other than just helping you cast them because, it comes in as a land that can tap for 2 mana, which, yes, is very relevant. But, Runo Stromkirk obviously does do Sea Monster Tribal things, or I guess I should say the backside does. So, yeah, it very well might take over, and obviously, having black instead of green, that's going to help and hurt in some ways, but it also gives you access to certain sea monsters like, Gyruda. So, only time will truly tell if it will take the crown. Regardless, yeah, my apologies again if I misspoke at all on this episode. I tried to do it as quickly and efficiently and correctly as I could. Oh, so thank you for bearing with me, but yeah, Runo Stromkirk is really exciting, or I guess I'd say Krothuss Lord of the Deep is very exciting. Both are exciting, okay? And there's a lot of different directions that you can take this deck, but yeah, I think the direction that many players are going to take it is that Sea Monster Tribal. And yeah, there's a lot of powerful things that you can do with this, but please, please, please be careful and try not to take the deck in too many different directions, or it might just fall flat. And with that, this show is coming to a close, so it's my turn to hear from you. So in the comments below, let me know what your thoughts on this episode are, and as always, thanks again, and have a good one.